Hello, everyone. Welcome to TV Literate, the podcast that unapologetically enjoys trashy TV. I'm Gillian.
And I'm Megan.
We're here. We still don't know how to make, transition from that to our podcast.
I never really know what to say. I always feel like...
It feels like it should be another and.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
we'll have
okay.
to work on that a little bit, I guess. You'd think we would have. This is episode 70, by the way, which is
70.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But maybe one day we'll work it out. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Either way, okay. Jillian, what have you been watching?
Well, I've been watching Squid Game. Can't stop, won't stop. I'm not finished yet, but I'm close to the end. And all I got to say is fuck Sang-woo.
Hard agree there. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about today in terms of what we've been watching is Squid Game, which I think we still have maybe 2, maybe 3 episodes
I think we're
left.
probably about the same place. I just finished the Glass Bridge. I'll be cryptic enough on that one, which is after Marble.
Okay, we've seen Marble. I've seen Marble. Okay. I have not seen Glass Bridge yet, though.
All right.
So yeah, we had to we had to take a break for a couple days because it's a lot, and just mental health has not been 100%.
How were people binging this show? I need to watch an episode a day for a week and a half because I can't take more than one episode or 2 at a time.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Yeah, I can't. We've watched it over 2 or 3 nights so far, and we had to take a couple days off.
Oh yeah,
and, yeah. But I'm excited to watch it still. It's just a lot.
I know it's one of those books that you read that destroys you, but you're I just need to know what happens.
Exactly. Once you get started, it's hard to not want to know the ending.
I know. I just want to know, man. I'm so invested in all of these characters.
I know, and it's I don't know. It's shitty. I mean, all of them are gonna die, basically. I mean, if that's, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really.
That's
know
the premise.
But yeah, the fucking Marble episode destroyed me.
Mm-hmm.
I just turned it off and was I need to go watch some fucking SpongeBob or Rugrats or something to cleanse my soul from that.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of we would watch a couple episodes before Kyler went to bed, and then I would immediately turn on Animal Crossing stream, and I'd be this, I need something wholesome, please.
You're I need brain bleach. I know capitalism is eventually going to kill us all.
I mean, I'm still faced with capitalism in Animal Crossing, so
True.
Can never fully escape it.
True. Tom Nook, man.
Damn you, Tom Nook.
Tom Nook the crook.
For real. But do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about in terms of things you've been watching?
No.
Yeah.
That's about it. It's just been Squid Game and cleansing from Squid Game.
Yeah, which I think has been most of the world. I feel everybody is watching Squid Game. It's insane.
I clicked on it last night and it was still #1 in the US. So
and it's been that way.
People are still watching it.
Yeah, and I see references to it literally everywhere. It's insane.
Chris isn't watching it at all, so I just have to send all of my memes to everybody else because he's I just can't deal with the violence right now and capitalism, and I'm yeah, totally understand. So I watch it when he's watching football or whatever. But yeah,
I was just thinking about how I was really glad that I am not working in a public library right now, so I don't have to do some type of Squid Game program because I knew I would have to, and I just don't have that in me.
Can you imagine? That's doing a Hunger Games challenge.
I know. It's do we have to kill the patrons if they don't get their little honeycomb out in time? What the fuck?
Yes.
I do not stand for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But then it wouldn't be authentic, and I also don't stand for things not being authentic, you know?
Exactly.
Come on now. All right. So for today, we are going to continue with Plathville. And we're going to do the next 3 episodes. And we have a lot of feelings.
Bummer. It's still a bummer.
It's just, there's just so much. And
I still love it because they're getting out. They're doing it. They're doing the work. But, man, if the work was easier.
I know. I'd also just really like and respect all of the Plath children as individuals and as humans and as adults. I think they're really good people. And they're trying their hardest, and it just sucks that they have basically been set up for failure.
Yep, and have a manipulative ass mom who guilts them and fucks them up, which I've decided, I think this episode I want to title Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Yes. Yes.
Because it
it's
feels
good.
right.
It does. It's definitely appropriate.
It also fits in with their musical theme because they did If You Got It, Flaunt It.
Oh,
for
right,
this one.
right.
So
Definitely.
we got the producers going on.
So let's just get into that episode. Episode 7, If You Got It, Flaunt It. So we start out with Micah on a date with Leah, who he met on a dating app. Which
I wonder which
awesome.
one. I wanted so bad to know if he like signed up for like Christian Mingle or if he's like full on Tindering.
I guarantee it's Tinder or like Bumble or something like that. I guarantee. Which is good. Good for you. Get yourself out there. That's like the perfect way to meet people.
God, he definitely has at least 2 headshots on his Tinder.
Oh, fuck yeah. You know.
The like black and white, like saucy man picture.
Yeah, I hope he has some like normal pictures too. I hope it's not all just model stuff. I get throwing 1 or 2 in there, like you know,
I'm
you might
model,
as well.
But like also here's me and my sister.
Yeah, exactly. Or like here's me, like just like a selfie of me, or like whatever. Yeah. Be normal. I don't know. So Leah is from Tallahassee because he says he cannot find anyone to date in Cairo, which
reasonable
sounds right to me.
Yeah.
And they are going over to the Plath farm to ride horses. And I don't know, just
this
see
seems
the farm.
so stressful to do for a first date. Like I don't know how much Micah's been back there, but like it seemed like not a lot, and I feel like that could be like, oops, ended up crying on my first date.
Yeah, it's definitely a ballsy move for sure. It feels more like I don't know, maybe like a 3rd or 4th date rather than a first, but I don't know, who am I to judge? It went well, so
it went well, but there was definitely a possibility for like, oops, I'm having a nervous breakdown on a first date.
Yeah, because they even like toured the house and everything too. It wasn't like they just stayed outside and like rode the horses. Like they went in and did like a little tour and everything. Yeah, I don't know.
It was weird to see empty, like even for us who we only saw it in the first season.
Right, yeah.
There was one point that Micah said that college is a waste of money, and he's like, that's always what my parents said. And I'm like,
yep.
Fuck you, Kim and Barry.
Which is like, they went to college, did they not? And I mean,
Barry has a job that requires a degree.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I fully acknowledge that college is not for everyone, and like I don't think everyone needs to go to college, and I don't think
but
whatever.
It's not a waste of time necessarily if you want to go for something. Like
exactly, if there's a specific job you want, or even if there's just like a specific field of study that you're interested in, like it's worth it for a lot of people. So I mean, I was glad though that Leah was kind of like holding fast in her, like, she's like, a waste of money.
It's not a waste of money. It's a thing to do. Like, even if it's just an experience where you get to meet people and socialize with people outside of your circle, like that alone is worth a semester or 3.
Yeah, there's all kinds of benefits to college. I mean, it is very expensive, obviously, but I was glad that like Micah seemed to be like taking what she said into consideration and seemed to be like, I never really, like, I realized that I have this thought, but it was just because my parents made me have this thought, and I never really like sat back and actually thought about it.
And I wonder how much of that was just part of the whole thing where it's like, oops, you don't have a social security number.
Yeah. What the fuck?
You want to control your kids so hard that you make them like basically not citizens of their country.
Yeah, it's full fucked up.
It's real fucked up.
But yeah, I don't know. They're Micah. What in the world? I don't know.
Today we're not having words.
Words are bad.
We've been drinking and ridden.
Their date goes well, though. They have a little kiss at the end, which was sweet. So I don't know. It seems good. They seem to like want to go on another date. So yeah, that's always a good sign.
Yeah, and Micah, just live large. Be nice, but live large.
Yes, exactly.
He told a story about eating peanuts out of the cow shit that really disturbed, I think, everyone involved a little bit.
Yeah. We don't need to revisit it too much, but yeah.
That's pretty much the whole story. But I don't know if I'd trust poop peanuts.
Yeah, even if they're in the shell, yeah, I'm still not into it. Sorry.
Yeah, like I'm fine with soil that has been fertilized with manure. I can get around that because it's not all just poop. You're not just like picking up a cow patty.
Right.
But okay, so Olivia.
Olivia is living with a friend for a while, kind of while they figure out what's going on. She says she's like, this is a survival move on her part. And it was like literally the last straw to save their marriage, kind of just to give Ethan some space to really figure out what he wants without her influencing that.
Yeah. She said, I was trying so hard to make the marriage work, but as long as I stayed and kept Ethan's world together, he could ignore everything that was happening. And like,
Yep.
He got into a little sneaky hate spiral after the fight with Barry on the driveway and just never was able to get himself out of it. And she just had to kick his ass, basically, and be like, well, I guess I'm going to leave. You got to figure it out.
Yeah. And, which is like, I can't imagine how hard that is to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it definitely seems to be the right move, at least
for the time being.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. It was all a bummer too.
It was. Yeah. It's just a bummer in general. Bummerville.
Ethan and Olivia. But I am seeing a light at the end of the tunnel for Ethan and Olivia. That like, I think even if they don't work out, they're going to get through this.
Yes. These episodes made me feel a lot better than the last set of episodes did. God, so yeah. Which we will get into that. Yeah. But in this episode, the next thing that happens is Mariah and Olivia are heading down to the beach for a couple of days with Helena, who is Micah's friend that he met through modeling, I think.
Yes, they did their first shoot together that we saw in season 1.
Yes. And she's kind of made a connection with Olivia and Mariah as well. So they're having a little girls' trip to the beach.
Which is cute and good. I'm glad also like that Mariah has more friends. But I'm also glad that Olivia is getting a friend outside of Ethan.
Yeah, definitely. And, getting out and having fun and just trying to live her life. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I don't know. Olivia talks in the car a bit on the way there that she feels like she's become more and more of a loner because nobody in her age bracket has experienced the things she has, which, shoo boy, ain't that the truth?
Yeah, like we kept talking about this last episode, but it's so hard to remember that she's only 23 and Ethan is 22 and they're going through this, and that's like a lot for 22 and 23. It's a lot for anyone to go through, but at 22 or 23, especially like she said, when no one else around you is going through the same thing, like I can't imagine how isolating that must feel.
I mean, she's 23 and she's already dealt with possibility of divorce, miscarriage, major family conflict, both from her family and from her in-laws' family.
Yes. Yeah.
She is
just,
like...
Whew. And just like how mature she is like insane to me. Like it's crazy.
She's got a good therapist.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, she talks about how Olivia does not really plan on talking about Ethan very much during this trip because she's feeling some type of way toward him and she doesn't want to say anything, which is fair. And she doesn't want to say anything, especially in front of Mariah, who's his sister, that she might regret later. So, which is good. Like, respect.
I mean, we all have the thoughts when we're deep in the shits of like, I hate them, I want to cut them, and then, you don't want to say that shit out loud when you're just in the shits.
Definitely. I related to that so hard.
So Helena goes and meets them once they get to the hotel, and they rented a cute little suite. And Mariah had some feelings about that because they always had a suite where the parents slept in the beds and then the kids slept on the floor. And
which, goddamn. I know. I can't imagine that. Like I have an older brother, so like when my parents and I went on vacation and like we got hotel rooms, we would just get 2. And I would share with my brother, and I hated that, okay?
Yeah.
And that's like a totally reasonable arrangement.
Yeah.
And I hated it, so I can't imagine having to like fucking share a room with like my entire family. Oh my God.
God, yeah, I know. And it's like, and if you do get a bed, you have to share it with 3 siblings.
Yeah. It's like, God damn, no thank you. That sounds awful.
And it's like, there's no reason for them to be doing this to their kids, other than that they want them all in the same space to be monitored.
Yeah, and probably to save money. But it's
to save
like,
money too. But
if you have like 1 million kids, you're gonna have to spend more money on these things. That's just like, you have to accommodate more people. That's how it works.
But
then the girls go have drinks by the pool and kind of talk about life and everything.
Yeah.
And Mariah asks Helena about her relationship with Micah, and she was very honest with it, says she really loves Micah a lot as a friend, and but she doesn't really see like anything between them. So, which is good that she can, you know, acknowledge that and they can be friends, which is cool.
Yeah. Olivia kind of comes out at this point and starts talking about her situation without naming specific names, that how she always, you know, she was taught to date to be married, and she wasn't able to do the kind of things that Helena and Mariah are doing, which is like basically date to get to know someone.
Yes.
And then decide about marriage.
And then decide if you want to date them or just be their friend or have nothing to do with them. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, wow, these possibilities.
Who'd have thunk it?
I know, right?
Yeah. I think Olivia doesn't talk. Maybe I don't mean like enough, like she needs to talk about it, but I think she doesn't put a lot of the stuff on her upbringing too.
Yes.
Because she only mentions her dad occasionally, but it sounds like every time she mentions it's like a deep-seated trauma. Like it's something like he did something bad days bears to them.
Yeah, I tried to do some digging actually because I was curious about her family, and there's not really a lot that I could find easily. Obviously, I can probably really dig, but I it does seem to be that like from what I was reading, the impression that I get is that they definitely like as young children grew up really fundy, but it kind of got a little bit looser as there, you know, as she became older. So I think but I definitely think you're right. Like there's still a lot there that maybe
she just keeps saying these like kind of cryptic things about like, oh, it just makes me think about how my dad would do this to the girls in the family, and I was just like, you need to unpack that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like maybe you are in therapy and you just don't want to talk about it on TV.
Yeah,
but
which
like,
I get. Like this is about the Plath, so I understand. But like even still, it would sometimes it's like it would probably make more sense, put more context to the situation.
Yeah, agree. Do we want to continue with them or do we want to go to Micah?
Let's just continue with the girls and then we'll go back.
So they stayed up all night talking, and so the next day they're like, we're gonna go to the beach. So they get to the beach and it immediately starts raining.
Of course.
Because it's Florida.
Yep. So they go in and have drinks instead in like a restaurant. And this is where they kind of talk about Mariah's upcoming gig, and they fill Helena in on the juicy details about that.
Yep. With Olivia and Kim and Barry and everything being very complicated. Helena kind of needles them a little bit about whose decision is this? Are you both really okay with it? Like, what's happening? Why is this the case? And Olivia's like, she said she felt mistreated, which she was, at least what we saw. And when she was mistreated, she got in even more shit with them because she'd be like, hey, I don't like being treated that way. And they're like, go fuck yourself.
It's not okay to stand up to Kim and Barry at all.
No. And Olivia said, I wish it didn't trigger me the way that it does. I always think, am I just being selfish? Should I just walk away and not do this? But I don't want to let Mariah down.
Yeah, it's a shitty situation for sure. I think last week, both of us kind of came to the conclusion that, like, maybe Olivia just shouldn't have been in the band. Like,
yeah.
I feel bad about saying that, like, because Olivia, like, deserves to have the opportunity as well.
And she seriously, like, needs something to do while she's in marriage hell.
But it just seems like if there were other options, and it wasn't like Olivia was like involved in this from the get-go, you know what I mean? It was,
and she's just kind of like backup help. She doesn't really want to like start a career of her own or anything. It's just she's there to support Mariah, but like
it just seems like it's more trouble than it's worth. But I don't know. It's a bad situation no matter what. So
yeah, I do kind of always wonder about this show. How much is like TLC and how much is real situations? Like, did they get her the gig and create this conflict, or is this already a conflict that was ongoing and they're just
definitely, because you know there's some of both of those things in these type of shows, so it's kind of hard. This one I definitely could see being a TLC, like, completely
let's twist that knife and get this plot point going.
So In this episode, also, we meet Marley, who is one of Micah's friends, who is coming over to the house to play video games and to give
I fucking
Micah.
love Marley.
He was cool, yeah. And he's giving Micah his very first gaming console, which is like one of his old ones.
Yeah. And getting him a racing game for the person who
Yeah.
has a suspended license for driving too quickly.
Hey, he's got to get it out somehow, okay? If it's on
He
the video
does.
game, at least it's not in real life.
That might be true. He might be able to get it all out in his, whatever it is, Need for Speed, Fast and the Furious. I don't know what racing games are there anymore.
I don't know either. Yeah, I just play Animal Crossing. Mario Kart, I guess.
Mario Kart. Hell yeah. Mario Kart creates so much frustration in my soul for me. 'Cause
it is.
I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, I have improved recently, but it's very frustrating for sure.
Yeah. So Marley comes over and they play some video games. Marley is just a stoner dude. I don't know. He just is so funny and just like very weird, and I appreciate him.
Yeah. He kind of talks about Micah a little bit, and I loved that he said that one of his favorite things about Micah is that he always gets excited over really like average and mundane things. But yeah, it was good to see like Micah hang out with a guy friend. It was nice. They were cute. I like them.
They were. We get a little blip of Micah here too, where he's like, when I'm home in Cairo, it's easy to lose ambition to do modeling and acting and traveling and what he wants to do because it's just so easy to be vibing at home. Okay, so we're done with Micah and Marley. We get our first reappearance of Ethan after this. Ethan is doing yard work.
Right, yes.
And Olivia's been gone for about a week and a half, and Ethan doesn't know where she is or where she's staying. And he says, it feels like something is dying,
Yeah, it was sad. I felt so sad for him.
So sad. He says, sometimes you just don't realize that until that person leaves, you don't realize how much you needed them.
Yeah. It was good, though, that he at least like acknowledged that he was partially to blame for this, and it wasn't like he was angry at her. It's like he seemed to understand why it was how it was, which is kind of like the first step in a way.
He seemed more like sad at what has come to pass versus I think he's gotten out of the mad more.
I agree. Yeah, which is, it's just sad.
It's probably good for what happens in episode 9 that he doesn't have all the anger still, because he would have probably just smashed some windshields.
Oh God, somebody would have died for sure.
Yeah.
So then this episode ends with Olivia stopping by the house to pick up some stuff while Ethan is at work. And when she gets to the door, there is a note on the door from Ethan, and it just kind of said he was leaving for a while and needed some space. And it really worried Olivia, which it would worry me too, I think. So
yeah, like if you don't send like a text like, hey, I'm going to Idaho for a week, I won't message you until I'm back. Like,
yeah, like I wouldn't freak out about that. Yeah, but a note, just like a handwritten note is always a little bit more ominous.
Right? A handwritten note on the door that's like, I'm leaving. I'm not telling you where I'm going. You're like,
excuse me,
please
sir.
Don't be going to the afterlife or anything.
Yeah.
Like, I really want you to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so episode 8 is called A Tiny Pair of Shorts.
Teeny weeny.
Yeah, this episode just started with like a home video of Micah being in bed and then Max getting in bed with him, which was fun. A fun way to open the show.
Yeah. Which is always, I don't know why this is so funny to me. So the next part is they go to Tallahassee where Mariah is meeting Max's mom, whose name is Gay.
Of course, yes.
I just didn't realize that people under the age of 80 were named Gay anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens, I guess. But yeah, like, what a name.
Yeah, I mean,
just going
she
all
seems
out.
Fun, but
yeah,
gay.
She seems cool. Yeah, Gay. But yeah, so Mariah says that Gay has kind of become both like a friend and a second mom to her. Mm-hmm. Gay has purple hair, which is cool.
And she's a high school teacher.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting though, and she did talk a little bit about it, but it's like interesting to see her now as opposed to like Max, who says he has a very sheltered childhood.
Yeah.
It's just like interesting that
I was curious about that. But then in episode 9, they do the reveal where Kim says, oh, Gay's divorced and she's already on her second husband and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, so she was married to a shithead.
Yeah. Yep. That's 100%. Yeah, for sure.
She was, fully married to a shitty dude who was very conservative Christian.
That sounds great.
Haha, get out, Gay. I'm glad you have your purple hair now.
Yeah, for sure. They talk a little bit about like homeschooling and stuff. And
yeah, I think Gay is just trying to get Mariah to get back together with Kim, etc. But I don't think she realizes the full depth of what happened.
I'm sure she doesn't, which there's a lot to it. So
yeah, she needs to watch season 1 and 2
for sure. But yeah, I think she just definitely wants like Mariah to have her mom in her life, which I get for sure.
I mean, in general, most of the time, 21-year-olds when they leave home are in the wrong because they're 21. They don't have great decision-making skills.
Yeah, right.
But I think in this case...
this is a weird exception to that.
Yeah. We're going to say it's all right.
Yeah, Mariah says that Gay inspires her to be open and accepting to everyone, and that includes her mom, which was nice to hear.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really like Mariah. Like, she's just a lot more mature than I was at that age. So.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't think I would have been able to handle like any of this at 19.
No.
I would have just lost it.
Same. I'm too emotional for this shit.
I'm just gonna cry in my prayer closet.
I know, I'm a Cancer. I can't help it.
I know. Cancer pod.
Not that kind of Cancer though.
No. Well, sometimes.
Oh God. Okay. So their little date ends with them making a date to go shopping with Kim in the future. So we'll see how that goes.
So then we get back to Olivia, and she says she finally got in touch with Ethan after a few days to make sure he was safe and that he would call her back when he gets home, and he has called that he is home.
He's back and he's ready to talk.
He's ready to get this show on the fucking road. He's done some 7 days of alone man time.
Yeah, that scares me. But hey, I mean, he seemed so different when he got back.
Holy shit, yeah.
It was like night and day. Like it seemed to have really helped him.
Yeah.
Like even just like personally with himself, it just seemed to really help him.
I was so proud of him. Like the whole rest of these episodes, I was so proud of him because like it seems like he's actually like finally sat down and thought about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Not just avoided thinking about it, like what he wants, where he wants to be. He just didn't want to ever think about the future. And now he's...
which I get.
Yeah, figured it out, I guess, a little bit more.
Yeah, I was really happy to see that he was like way more back to his normal self in this episode than he has been.
So they meet up in the Rose Garden again, where they were initially going to meet the last chunk of episodes to talk about divorce and shit, which, this park is really seeing some shit.
For real, damn.
But he says that his biggest priority is that he wants to have a family, and he wants to have a family with someone that he truly loves, and there's no one else that he would want that with.
Yeah.
Which is sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet. And it was like the way that he said it and the way that he described it, like it felt like he truly, like that's truly how he felt. And that's like how his thought, he like kind of explained how his thought process went. Like I thought like, what is my first priority? And like, who do I want that with? Is there like anything that I would want other than this, which is like a good way to think about things.
So he's doing the work that she asked him to, because he says the biggest question I had to ask myself is could I really accept Olivia for who she has become? And he's just like, yep, I think I can.
I love her. Yeah.
Nothing that she's changed is bad. It's just that she's changed, and that scares him.
Yeah, and it's just different than what he maybe expected or anticipated. And so, yeah, it's good to reevaluate and make sure that that's still, and it just, like I said, it genuinely does seem like this is a genuine like realization that he's come to.
Yeah. Yeah, but God, holy shit, this whole scene, he took like 5 hours to get to the like, no, there's no one else that I want to be with. And I'm just like, Olivia's over there like, ugh.
Yeah, I would be dying. I'd be like, just fucking tell me yes or no. Just say it.
Just start with yes or no and then go from there.
Exactly.
I can't listen to you if I'm worrying about if it's going to be yes or no.
So then Olivia gives her side, and she's much more hesitant about this, which I definitely get. is, you know, hopeful and wanting to work on things. So she wants to go to couples counseling together, and work on things, and maybe like see each other and go on dates and like kind of do things to actively work on the relationship. But she's not at the point where she's ready to like move back in and be like together fully again.
Yeah, which I get. Like when I was watching this, I was kind of like, why is she being so like lukewarm about this? But I mean, the house, bad vibes. I'm sure she feels like if she moves back there with them, they're just gonna get stuck again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she could just be like, we don't know. Like, Ethan might have said something like this before to her, where she thought that things were going to change and then they didn't, and so maybe she just needs to actually see things improve and change before she actually. Which I get, and I respect that decision. I think it's a wise one, not to just jump back in because of how you're feeling, like to really think things through and make sure it's the right decision and that things are actually going to change.
Hell yeah. Yes, big agree. So Ethan basically says he wants to sell the house, wants to go to counseling, and he wants to move on together. And he says he knows what he wants, and what he wants is that he wants them to be together, which is sweet. And she's like, well, you know, you've said that before and you didn't really mean it, or you haven't said that enough. And he says, I was just too frustrated and too angry to even feel those feelings before. Which, ain't that the fucking truth?
Yeah, no, I think that that's exactly what it was that like there were all these other emotions that were just like getting in the way of him thinking things through fully clearly. So yeah, it's hard. I love there was one part at this where Ethan tells Olivia that he loves her and that he's like sorry that he didn't show that more, and then Olivia's crying and Ethan says, why are you crying? And Olivia just says, because I cry a lot. And that's just me.
Yep. I can't go through any conflict conversation without crying. I'm not crying for any reason, but I'm just like, it's gonna weep.
Yeah, if there's any type of heightened emotion in any way, I will cry. Anything.
Yep, hands down. If I get too startled, I'm gonna cry.
Yes, yeah. If I'm hungry, I cry. Anything.
Oh God, if I'm hungry, I cry. I am the worst person when I'm hungry or when I'm tired. I'm always sobbing.
Mood.
So Ethan kind of feels deflated about Olivia not being gung-ho back into his plan, which I get, because this part is kind of new for him, this section of like, oh, I'm gonna have different emotions other than just full blind rage.
Yeah. But they do. It was good that they kind of did leave off on good terms. They did hug each other, which like
told each other they loved each
permission,
other,
which was good. It wasn't just like hug me. It was like, can we hug?
Yeah.
And then and they like made arrangements to see each other the next week. And Ethan, you know, talks about how he's going to work on selling the house and getting appointments for a counselor. So it was like a very hopeful, like sad but hopeful note at the end. Yeah.
It was good. It was. I'm still depressed for them, but I still love them.
I'm just sad that they have to go through all this.
Right?
Like, it's just really shitty.
It's so hard. And it's like, this would have been a thing that he probably would have figured out on his own if he had been able to like move out and start dating and meeting people, whatever.
Yep.
Because he's just like, I went a lot of places, saw a lot of people on my trip, and I came to the conclusion that money and cars and houses don't matter. It's the people.
Yep. Yeah. I hope that it wasn't too late and that they're able to salvage it, because I mean, I love them. They're so sweet.
I just don't want them to move to Tallahassee. I think Tallahassee needs to be off the table now. I think they need to go to like Atlanta or something.
Yeah.
Because Tallahassee has too many bad vibes around it now.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Especially after the next episode.
Right. God, the next episode. Fuck. I was so stressed. It's the first time I've been stressed, not just depressed.
I know. Stressed and depressed.
Blessed.
Next up, Micah is going to Atlanta, speaking of Atlanta, to meet with his agent. And Mariah is driving him since he still has his suspended license, of course. Mariah driving in Atlanta was such a mood, though, because Atlanta is stressful as fuck. I've never driven there, but my dad has, and I think that my parents' marriage has almost ended while driving in Atlanta. So
Fully.
I get it.
One time we went to Atlanta, like the airport, and stayed over at the hotel by the airport, and you have to like circle the airport and then circle the hotel, and then you can get into that hotel. But me and Mom just circled the airport like 3 times and then circled the hotel like 3 times. We didn't know what the fuck was going on, and it was horrible, but
it's stressful as fuck. I don't even know.
It's it's not good. Not a good city for driving in.
Yeah. This is why I moved to West Virginia. There's just like nobody here, no traffic.
Traffic here is a block long.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Micah goes to see his agent, and there's big news. Select London has expressed interest in him, the biggest men's modeling agency in the world.
That's exciting. But yeah, I loved they were looking at Micah's like modeling book, and Micah just goes, "This guy's kind of hot." It's like such like a dad joke.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine being a model. Like,
no, I would hate it.
Seeing pictures of yourself,
so embarrassed. But I'm also like not attractive, so I don't know.
We're not Micah hot. We're sorry.
Yeah,
we're not
exactly.
cut and lean.
No. But the agency does kind of talk about the areas of improvement that need to be worked on for Micah, which is mostly his communication skills, because they sometimes have a hard time getting a hold of him. And he doesn't really know. He says he like never really grew up with email and doesn't really know about email, and so he never responds to his email.
God.
Yeah, but I don't know. Hopefully he will get with it now that he's gotten I'm sure he will. Like, that's kind of one of those things where like you only need to be told once.
Yeah,
especially
for a lot of like with this kind of big news, like, hey, an important person is looking at you. Straighten up and fly right, and that's pretty good motivation.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited for Micah that his modeling is going well. And yeah,
make that money, honey.
Hell yeah, go for it.
So we get to a nice, super awkward part, where Mariah is meeting Kim and Gay to go shopping in Thomasville so that they can become friends.
BFFs.
BFFs.
I loved the scene in the car where Kim was talking about Mariah's clothes, and she says, quote, "Mariah's clothing style is less fabric, more seams."
I know. Kim just cannot help herself from throwing the most shade at her own children.
Or anybody, but yeah, especially her own children. She's just like such a bitch. She always has to be a bitch about everything.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't you just be normal, Kim?
Yeah, why can't you just like shut the fuck up and take it to a group chat? God.
Exactly. like you're saying this on a television show. The entire world can see this potentially.
Yeah. Your own daughter is going to see this.
And this is when she like I just always like Kim has such a punchable face. But this is when she was like talking about her and Gay and the differences between her and Gay, and she's like, well, she has dyed hair, and I was like, yeah, that's true. And then she's like, well, she's divorced and remarried, and I'm still on my first husband. And then she starts laughing. It's like, what the fuck?
Barry ain't a catch. You don't need to be bragging.
First of all. But yeah, second of all, like, wow, you're so much better than a person who got divorced, even though you like are a shitty person and mother. Like, yeah.
And she like, and Gay raised a perfectly like Christian and kind boy,
respectful young man. Yeah,
it's not like she raised some fucking hell beast who like goes around murdering people. It's not like she birthed out Ted Bundy. She just got remarried.
Yeah, damn, what a sinner.
She also, in this part, in the car, she was doing her little spiel about less fabric, more seams. And she's like, well, now that Mariah is an adult, she's just going to have to take responsibility for her own life and how safe she is. And I was like, you know what? Mariah doesn't deserve any, like, unwanted male attention or touching or assault or anything. Even if she's wearing nothing but a crop top and hot pants.
Even if she's wearing nothing at all, you don't deserve to be...
Yeah. Exactly. She doesn't deserve to be unsafe just because she's dressing a little slutty. Like, she can do what she wants. Men shouldn't be assaulting people.
Yeah, that's really the behavior we should be after.
Yep.
IMO.
IMO, yes. Yeah. I just wrote that out and just wrote ugh after it.
it's so bad. But they do go shopping, and Mariah does say that she notices that her mom is a lot more like accepting of the things. I guess she's not more like openly hostile anymore, but
yeah,
whatever. Passive aggressive Kim, I guess, is slightly better.
Yes. Yeah, Kim that's trying a tiny bit to not be an asshole. Which
it's hard for her. She talks a little bit about her Kim talks a little bit about her relationship with Mariah, and how, quote, her barrier to hear anything that I have to say has come down, and that's priceless, end quote. And she cries, and it's a whole thing, and it's whatever.
Yeah, it's like, you know why she wasn't listening to you? Because you were saying bullshit.
I mean, that's the part, the interesting thing, and the part that I don't think she realizes is like the reason she's able to do this is because now Mariah's able to just tune her out and like
walk away.
Yeah, and it's not like she's still not with you completely, Kim.
Yep, she's still living on her own in her own house.
And then we get into an awkward part while Mariah is in the changing room, and the moms start talking about Mariah's gigs and like the possibility of going to them, and Mariah still has not told Kim that she cannot come to the show.
Or that she's even booked a show fully.
Right. It's just awkward.
It sucks. Yeah, so Mariah's like, well, I guess I have to fucking tell Kim and Barry because they're gonna find out somehow. And so then we start having some internal conflict for Mariah.
Yes. And then the last part of this episode is Ethan having a realtor over to the house to talk about putting it on the market. And he says that the trip that he took has really opened his eyes, that like there are other really awesome places that he could live and experience, and there's like places worthy of living outside of Cairo. And so that was part of his, I think, journey to get to where he is now, is realizing that.
Yeah, he had just gotten so stuck in the little vortex of Cairo, Georgia. But yeah, he also says in this part that he has no intention of staying in Cairo, whether he and Olivia work out or not, which I think that's like the most hopeful thing that I've heard him say in a while, because he just needs to get the fuck out and get some distance. I agree.
Yeah, for sure. I think it would be the best for him, and I'm glad that he's come to that realization, like outside of just Olivia making that decision for him.
Yes, exactly. That's why I was like, yeah, I think that's like he really did some work while he was gone on his weird trip to nowhere that no one seems to know where the fuck he went. Like not even the producers or anything.
Super secret Ethan trip, yes. The realtor was pissing me off in the scene, and I'm sure it was like just how it was edited and it was like annoying, but she just like kept pressing about like where Olivia was and like Olivia doing stuff, and it's like, okay, clearly he doesn't want to talk about this. Clear, like read the room, darling.
Honestly, I've known quite a lot of retailers, realtors. I've known quite a few realtors, and they're all kind of this nosy asshole vibe. Yeah, which I mean, I'm a nosy asshole, but I won't ask directly.
Not openly. I do my creeping by myself, like in my
I don't want to make like harsh anybody else's vibe for my curiosity.
For sure. But it's like, yeah, just like don't. I mean, she's not here. Let's not bring it up.
Yeah, shit. She could just be at work. Like she's a wedding photographer. She could be on location.
Right. You never know. All right. So the last episode we have to talk about, episode 9, your only first concert. We have some feelings about this one, I think. Spoiler alert.
So many feelings. Even starting from the beginning.
Yes.
So Lydia and Mariah go out to coffee, where Mariah is asking Lydia basically for assistance. How the fuck do I break this to my parents? Like that I'm having a gig and they're not invited. And Lydia, ooh, she's getting to be a little Kim, is like, well, this is your only first concert, Mariah. Maybe they should be there.
Yeah. I was like,
don't manipulate someone.
I know, it's just awkward, yeah. And Mariah seems like really torn up about it and about being in the middle, which I get. It's just a shitty situation. And she says, I hate life decisions, which so do I.
Vibes.
Yes.
Don't make me make any big decisions. Just let me go with the flow, man.
Just let them happen to me and I will just deal with them. Okay? I don't want to decide.
No, not today. Yeah, I don't know. Lydia also says there's going to be a cloud over the concert whether or not they show up, which is true, but
yeah,
shut up. Like,
yeah, it doesn't have to be that way. Your
sister's like basically crying in a coffee shop to you. Don't rub it in.
She was not very encouraging.
No, but she is also like 17 and raised by Kim, so
yeah, can't blame her on that. It's not really her fault.
She hasn't had time to unlearn that bullshit yet.
Right. So Olivia goes back over to the house to help Ethan work on some little projects around the house to get it ready to go on the market. Mm-hmm. And while they're doing that, they kind of talk a little bit, and Olivia asks Ethan to rate where their relationship is on a scale of 1 to 10. And Ethan says 1, which is surprised Olivia, who said 4. Yeah. Which I agree. I definitely don't think they're out of 1. I mean,
I don't think they're out of 1, but I get it from Ethan because he was like, I've had all these epiphanies. I want this out of my life. And she's like, let's take it a day at a time. Yeah. And he's like, oh.
Yeah, I think that from Ethan's perspective, he was really excited that he finally got to this point and he could share it with Olivia. And he was probably hoping that Olivia would reciprocate that, which I'm not saying that Olivia was
Yeah, she didn't say no, but she's just like, we need to take this slow because obviously we're making large life decisions.
So I can see that being a big bummer. But, yeah. Olivia said they were at a 4, which is pretty, I
think that's about right.
Yeah,
they're
good.
Not being outwardly hostile to each other. They're not arguing as much anymore. Like, they're just trying to get back on the horse.
Yeah, exactly. They're working on getting a couples counselor, which I think will probably be really helpful for them. Because I think they just kind of need somebody to help, like, mediate a discussion between them.
And try and, like, translate. Because sometimes it feels like what Ethan is saying and what he means is different than how Olivia takes it.
Definitely.
And vice versa.
Yeah, it'll be good to have a third party there for sure.
Yeah. We also get Ethan saying that he's like a little stubborn person, but he's thought a lot about life and what he has done and what he wants to do. And he's like, I've been working since I was 15. I've always just gone to work, come home, done a couple things for myself, and then gone to bed, woken up, gone to work. He's like, I just want to have cool memories and move around before I settle down. And I'm like, good. You were acting like you were 40, dude.
Yep. Yeah. And I get that, though. It's when you get in that, like, working, a 9 to 5, and it's so hard to get out of that, like, funk of being, in it. I get it.
You're like, capitalism.
Fuck. Back to Squid Games.
Back to fucking Squid Games.
So after they work on some projects, they have a beer together, and I don't know. It's kind of, I'm glad that they're at a place now where they're at least, I don't know, able to do things without it being super emotional. It seems like, at least. Yeah,
they can just kind of do the stuff.
Progress,
And it did look steps. Like Ethan had done quite a bit of packing and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think he's full serious, which will, I'm sure, help.
It definitely seems like he is, for sure. Which is, like you said, I think that can only work in his favor to show Olivia that he's serious about changing and doing things to make their lives better. Yeah,
and that it's his decision, not just something he's doing to please her.
Right.
He's like, I have realized I need to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, which, you do.
Which is a reference he wouldn't get because he's never heard of Truman Capote.
That's a sad life, honestly. God. I love Truman Capote.
Right.
Anyway, so Mariah, next up is the bad part. Mariah is going over to the farm where she plans on telling Kim and Barry that they cannot go to her show.
Yep. They all it's very gather. Awkward. They all gather in the gathering room where we always have these fucked up conversations.
Yeah. Oh my God. And it's very awkward because Mariah, like, clearly does not really know how to handle this situation, which, I mean, she's young. I get it. It's awkward.
Her parents are fucking loose-ass cannons. Who knows?
Yeah. But she kind of just comes out and tells them that Olivia is in the band and that because of that, they cannot come.
Kim, of course, is like, my family, it's divided all over again. And I'm like, no, it's literally the same division that you haven't fixed yet.
That's the thing is, like, I get so pissed at Kim during these scenes because she acts like she's the victim. And the fact of the matter is that in this situation, the ball is in your court and she needs to work on things to like change her relationship with Ethan and then Olivia. Like that you have to do things, and like Ethan is doing, make steps to show that things are changing before things can actually change. And she does not get that at all. And it pissed me off so much too when Kim said something about like it's not fair because they're not telling Mariah that she can't hang out with Olivia. And it's like, okay, but Olivia's not telling Mariah she can't hang out with you either. This has nothing to do with you. It has to do with you seeing Olivia, which is like, you're missing the whole point here, baby.
Yep. Well, if they didn't miss the point, they're gonna pretend that they don't know what the point is.
Yeah, they're gonna play dumb.
God forbid they can't ever be at fault. These are not consequences. These are violations. This is an assault. This is not consequences of my own stupid, shitty fucking actions towards my child and his wife.
Well, and then like it's not only that, but it's just like so annoying that no matter what, Kim cannot respect other people's boundaries like at all. And that's just like, this is just a further proof. Like this whole episode was further proof that like Olivia is not overreacting.
Yeah, no. At all. Hardest no. Like Olivia says this later when more things happen, but she says that Kim is going to be hurt by my boundary tonight, but she's hurt by every boundary that anyone sets. And I'm like, yep, that's true.
100%. Yeah, if it's against her or if it restricts her in any way, then
she's the victim.
Yep, 100%. But then Kim gets in what if I come and nobody knows? And at this point I would have just been like, fuck no, bitch. No,
right?
Don't even try.
I would have been like, absolutely not. You will destroy every relationship you have with any of your remaining children if you do that.
Yeah, but then of course Mariah is going to be like, well, like I can't
know about that. Like I can't help you scheme to
like,
get
what
in
is she
here.
supposed to say? It's just like, god damn.
I know. I hate that they like put so much back on this to Mariah. Like, why did you make this decision? Why are you trying to hurt us? And it's like, no, I'm just trying to respect a friend of mine and my sister-in-law.
Right. And like her perfectly reasonable, I don't know. It's just like, that's the thing too, is that Kim keeps talking about how overblown the situation is. But like, that's exactly the problem, is that you are not acknowledging the actual issues. You're saying it's overblown and that there's no problem. But the problem is that you are not acknowledging your wrongdoings
anything wrong. Yeah.
God forbid. God, I fucking hate Kim more than anyone in the world almost.
Oof, yeah. I mean, she's like up there.
Yeah, for sure.
She's definitely like, okay, she's below Jim Bob.
Yeah.
Above the Bates parents.
Yeah.
I don't know where Michelle falls on this
Michelle,
chart.
yeah, it's hard
Maybe
to tell.
Michelle and Kim are tied for both being like guilt-tripping manipulators.
Yeah, I will agree to that. I will sign to that.
I'll allow it.
But then Kim and Barry say they're not going to go and cause a scene, but it's like pretty clear that like there's someone's
going to cause a scene.
Yeah.
I can't believe this episode made me agree with Barry at one point in time.
Yeah. Barry was being actually reasonable later on, and I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Have we just been... No, Barry is definitely the ringleader of this weird manipulative cult, but
he just sees how ridiculous his wife is being in this specific circumstance.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if Kim and Barry like split up. Like if they imploded, what would happen? Would Kim get worse, or would Kim go like gay? Not like actual gay, but like gay. Max mom.
like gay. I don't know. It's hard to imagine Kim being worse, but I feel like she'd be able to.
Yeah, because then she'd have a whole nother like
victim. She's like the victim of everything.
Blame. Yeah.
Exactly. So she could just be the victim again. Anyway, fuck. So it's the day of Mariah's gig, and she's feeling very nervous. Mike and Max are kind of goofing off and trying to lighten the mood a little bit, as they do.
Yep, goofball boys. Max is on crutches, which I don't know what he did, but I'm sure it was something really stupid.
I'm sure it was.
Kickflip gone wrong or something.
Yeah, you never know. It's just like, I feel like if a young 20s boy is on crutches, it's just like, I don't even want to know what you were doing.
No, it was definitely like a hold my beer situation.
Exactly. So then we go back to the farm, and it's like the fact that Kim is like not even pretending that she's gonna respect these boundaries is just like
she's picking out outfits.
Yeah. But this is where Barry's actually a little bit logical and is like, I really think that this is only going to make situation worse, and it's going to, like, I think that this is just one of those things where we just have to, like, stay home, and it sucks, but
it is what it is. He's like,
yeah.
He said something like, the last time I interacted with Ethan, it was on the driveway and it was bad. So I'm fine just staying back. And I'm like, yeah, that's the reasonable thing. Like,
yeah,
if your child is seeing you as a threat and decides to threaten you as well to protect himself, like, don't sneak attack him.
Right.
Because as far as they know, Ethan and Olivia are together, so Ethan would be there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's like Mariah gave them like a good alternative, which was to send Lydia, and Lydia can record it and then send it, like, they can watch it, which is like not as good as being there, admittedly, but like, I don't know, it's something. But then that's when Kim was like, but that would be dividing the family. It's like, fuck off, Kim. It's like, you're the one that's dividing the family, bitch. But okay.
So at this point, too, she says something like, well, these boundaries are ridiculous. They don't own the restaurant in Tallahassee. I can be there. And I'm like, you clearly don't understand. Like,
at all.
That's not the boundary. They're not talking about property lines. We're talking about, like, human boundaries, you dumbass. Maybe college isn't worth anything because you still are an idiot.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate Kim. How do I like Barry more than Kim now?
I know. I hate that she was getting me to feel like, yeah, Barry's reasonable. Like, I hate that. I don't want to ever feel that again.
Yeah. Fuck.
So, of course, they decide to go. I don't even know who's there. It's Lydia, Isaac, Kim, and I think some of the younger girls are going to
Mercy.
Tallahassee. Yeah. At least one younger girl that I could see.
Yeah.
Supposedly they're just going to run errands, and they might swing by the parking lot with the windows down. But then, just conveniently, they get there and they have another friend's car waiting there. Conveniently. So they, like, have devised this plan where they're gonna, like, pull into the parking lot,
hide their
car, and then they're gonna, like, run into this other family's car that's closer to the, like, venue where they can hear and see and wait and watch. And it's like, okay, so she's at first was acting like they might just swing by, and then they have like this whole
been
plan.
Plotting this for multiple days at this point, because you're not just gonna call up a friend and be like, hey, can you meet me down at this restaurant in an hour? No, you're gonna be like, hey, so tomorrow I'm gonna see, are you available at 5?
Exactly. But she said, I promised her she wouldn't see us there, but I'm not missing her first concert. Fuck you. It's just so annoying because she always has to be in control, and she always has to just, like, be doing just enough to, like, push the boundaries, and it's so annoying.
She's just got to do just enough so she can always claim that she's victimized by the thing, even though she's the one who's doing it. She's gonna stab a bear, and then when she gets mauled by it, she's like, oh, you gotta kill that bear. It was so mean to me. You fucking stabbed a bear. Sorry.
That's okay. And I think this part is a further point in that, like, this was all just, like, orchestrated by TLC, because Lydia keeps talking about how she hopes that, like, they never find out that they're there, but, like, literally TLC is filming you. Like, they're gonna find out you were there. Yeah. If not that day, then when it airs on TLC.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know. It's so fucked up. And so all of, like, Olivia, Mariah, and Micah are all setting up, and Ethan rolled up. Which was nice. I think everybody, he seemed like he was in a good mood and ready to help. And it seemed like it was gonna be a good experience until Ethan's sitting with Max and his mom, and he sees the car,
which was, like, not hidden at all. Like, you clearly wanted them to see it.
Yeah, they're such fucking assholes. They backed it into the spot so you could see the front of the car.
Yeah. And it was, like, out in the open. It's like, okay, clearly you wanted them to see that. And so Ethan kind of lets Mariah and Olivia know, and Micah, about the situation, that the parents are there, and they decide, like, Mariah and Olivia are all, like, kind of freaked out about it, and Micah and Ethan decide they're gonna go take care of it.
I was so surprised by how mad Micah was. Because, like, he's the one who has had, like, the least complaints. As, like, Micah doesn't have that many complaints about their family. He was just like, y'all were kind of controlling. You wouldn't let me do what I want. I want to go be a hoe and a model. That's what I want to live my life as. And it's like, cool, that's fine. But But he was like so fucking mad. He's like, my mom always does things like this. She has to be in control. And I'm like, she's fully fucked this up with every single person there. Like, she's ruined her relationship
Barry
with
thinks
Mariah.
She's in the wrong.
Barry thinks she's fucking wrong. I'm sure the fight's going to end up with Isaac and Lydia being completely destroyed again when Kim fucks this up.
Yeah, it's like, this was just everyone agrees this was a bad decision. Like,
except for Kim.
You fucked
Kim thinks
up.
It's a great idea.
Of course she does. But yeah, Micah and Ethan kind of go stalk around. They go up to the car and see they're not in the car. So then they go into the restaurant and look for him. And that's where it leaves off kind of with them like finding them in the car. And of course,
the episode ends with Isaac going, "Oh, they can see me. They can see me."
Yeah. It's like, God damn. I did not want it to end, but then it did. I was so pissed.
I know. God, we've got to wait till next week. The last season was only 9 episodes long. I don't know what they're doing to us.
I don't know. There's not really like any info on how many more episodes there are going to be, or I don't know, but we'll figure it out. I'm excited to see this because some shit's going to go down.
Shit's going to go down. This is going to be bad. Like, Kim's not going to just like tuck her tail between her legs and leave. She's going to go make a scene. She's going to roll up there and make a fucking scene.
You know, she's going to be like, this is public property. I'm an American. I could be where I want to be.
Well, that's my daughter and my son.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all a mess, and Kim is just the absolute worst human being.
She's just the worst. If Barry thinks you're being an idiot,
that's what I'm saying. You really need to reevaluate your life choices.
Holy shit. Yeah. Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine if Barry came up to you and said, "I'm disappointed in you for this decision"? Like, that would be like, that would be the worst.
And it was, I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like,
like, I got a tattoo and he thinks I'm going to hell. But if it's like, he's like, oh, I feel like the way that you responded to that person when they had a legitimate complaint was bad, I'd be like,
you're out of line in this way. It's like, oh, I'm out of line here? Okay, maybe I should look into it.
I need to go find Jesus. I need to go do my 7-day walkabout like Ethan did and find myself.
Yeah, exactly. I need whatever trip Ethan was on is what I need right now. God damn.
Hell yeah.
Going through it at the moment, if you know what I'm saying.
Going through it.
But yeah, do you have anything else to say about these episodes? I was so pissed at this episode.
I'm so glad you warned me because I was expecting this to be like the last episode of the season, and
I knew I had to. When it happened to me and it was like the end of the episode and there was still like so much tension, I was like, I need to prepare her.
Next week on what are you talking about next week?
I was like, I need to prepare her so that she knows that there will not be closure. You're welcome. Thank you so much. I'm here for you.
God. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that does it for this week. If you have anything to say about this trash pile that is the Plaths, or anything else that we talk about, if you have any suggestions for things you want us to watch in the future, you can send us an email at tvliterate@gmail.com.
And you can find us all over the internet, Instagram, Reddit, Tumblr, Facebook, everywhere at TV Literate. And you can send us anything that you find interesting or whatever. Like, if you see any more Josh Duggar news like pop up, like breaking news, send it to us just in case.
Please.
Just in case.
You never know.
We'll
you guys broke the news to us once about Josh Duggar. So
God, it would be so good if someone just messaged us and was like, Josh Duggar's in jail for the rest of his life, and we'd be like, yes,
we could all breathe easier that day.
But I got off track. So if you like the show and you want to help support us, you can send us $1 or $3 at ko-fi.com/TV Literate. I'm not going to say it this week because I don't know how to pronounce it.
Might as well spell it. It's, just for the best.
Yeah.
And if you have time and you'd like to leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate it. Also, recommend us to any of your friends. We would love to have more trash monsters for the trash heap.
Hell yeah. Welcome
keep
to the
them
trash
coming,
heap, babies.
Exactly. And we will see you next week with another episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.